Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. Mohamed Salah returns to Liverpool training as Reds welcome star back after AFCON. Second news is Ibrahima Konate misses Liverpool training, giving Arne Slot fresh Marseille headache. Now details. Mohamed Salah was involved in Liverpool's open training session on Tuesday as the Reds prepared to face Marseille in the Champions League. Liverpool travels to France for the midweek European clash and knows it could need to take maximum points to move into the automatic qualification places before next week's final round of matches in the competition's league phase. Liverpool currently sits ninth in the table and is outside the top 8 based on goals scored alone. A win over Inter Milan last out helped the Reds' chances of earning an automatic qualification spot and bypassing the Champions League playoff stage. Salah missed that game due to the fallout from his explosive Elland Road mixed-zone comments at the start of December, but he is expected to play some part against Marseille on Tuesday. Salah was always due to return to Liverpool this week, following the conclusion of the Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON, and Arne Slot said on Friday that he was unsure whether the winger would be back for the Marseille match or the trip to Bournemouth this weekend. But Salah's appearance at training, along with the rest of the squad, is an indication he should be in the squad that flies to France on Tuesday. "I am happy that he comes back," Slot said on Friday. "Mo has been so important for this club for me, so I am happy that he is back. Even if I had 15 attackers, I still would have been happy if he came back, but that is not our current situation." However, it remains unclear whether any further punishment will be meted out to Salah following his incendiary interview at Leeds. The AFCON pause allowed everyone associated with Liverpool an opportunity to mull over the situation, and there could still be further ramifications for Salah. The Egyptian will almost certainly be named among the substitutes in Marseille, a role Salah has not been used to during his Liverpool career. In fact, it was Slot's decision to name Salah on the bench for 3 successive games that resulted in his post-match interview at Elland Road. Coincidentally or not, since the 33-year-old has dropped out of the Liverpool team, it has embarked on a 12-game unbeaten run, although performances have often underwhelmed in recent weeks. Salah last started a club match on November 26, when the Reds were beaten 4-1 by PSV Eindhoven at home. He did, however, enjoy a positive AFCON, scoring 4 goals in 6 appearances for Egypt. Mohamed Salah returns to Liverpool training, but Konate absent. Liverpool prepare to resume their Champions League campaign on Wednesday with a trip to Marseille, in what will be their penultimate league phase game of their 2025-26 European campaign, and a single point will be enough to ensure the Reds progress to the knockout rounds. Their hopes were given a boost with the return of Mohamed Salah to training after a disappointing end to the Africa Cup of Nations for the superstar forward, with Egypt making it to the semi-final stage, only to lose to final winners Senegal, and then to Nigeria in the third-place playoff. What Salah's role for Liverpool will be, though, is a fair question given his falling out with manager Arne Slot before his international duty departure over the holiday period. But with Liverpool currently looking very thin in attack, there's plenty of reason to think Salah will be needed. In Salah's absence, Liverpool have managed to tally up to 12 games in their current unbeaten streak. No small accomplishment given the team's struggles in the autumn, but there remain questions around performances, and this remains a side that seems rather to lack a tactical identity. If this title-defending Liverpool side are to manage more than treading water following last summer's £450 transfer splurge, it's hard to imagine it happening without Salah playing a key role. However, Salah's involvement on Wednesday won't be the only question Slot has to answer. That's because while Salah has returned to training, centre-half Ibrahima Konate has left the club due to family reasons, and widespread reports today suggest it is not yet known if he will join his teammates for Wednesday and take part in the match against League One's third-place side. If Konate isn't available, that will leave Slot with just 2 fit senior centre-halves to choose from in captain Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez, and Gomez, struggles with injuries this season, will likely have everyone feeling a little bit nervous on the defensive depth front in the coming weeks. Man City offers Mohamed Salah hint as Arne Slot confirms Liverpool talks. All eyes will be on Mohamed Salah this week as the winger makes his return to Liverpool, with doubts still hanging over his future at Anfield. The Africa Cup of Nations came to a dramatic end on Sunday, with Sadio Mane's Senegal triumphing over hosts Morocco in a controversial final. Salah's involvement in the tournament ended on Saturday, though, with Egypt losing on penalties to Nigeria in the third-place playoff. He's now set to make his arrive back on Merseyside ahead of the Reds' Champions League trip to Marseille, although it's not yet clear whether he will be involved in the penultimate league phase encounter. Manchester City looks like it may have answered that question, though. Pep Guardiola's side is heading to Norway to face Bodo/Glimt on Tuesday, and Salah's Egypt teammate Omar Marmoush has been named in the travelling squad. Given Salah and Liverpool has an extra 24 hours to prepare for their game in France, it would appear likely then that the 33-year-old will be in the squad to face Marseille, although we will have to wait until Tuesday for that to be confirmed. Whether he is included could come down to his expected talks with Arne Slot upon his return, with the subject of his future set to come up following his outburst last month. Salah, of course, took aim at the club in an extraordinary interview, in which he accused Liverpool of throwing him under the bus after being named on the bench for 3 straight games, while claiming that his relationship with Slot had broken down. The Liverpool boss did appear to repair some bridges when Salah was restored to the squad against Brighton, having been left out against Inter Milan a few days earlier, although the Egyptian had suggested that the game against the Seagulls would be his last for the club. Whether that is the case will likely be answered this week, with Slot having confirmed that he has been in talks with Salah ahead of his return. "We are in talks with him over what we expect over here," Slot revealed last week. That whether he will be available against Marseille is something we're talking with him about. Slot added, "I'm happy that he comes back because Mo has been so important for this club. Even if I had 15 attackers, I still would have been happy if he came back, but that's not our current situation. I'm happy to have him back after an important game he has to play for Egypt." Second news is Ibrahima Konate misses Liverpool training, giving Arne Slot fresh Marseille headache. Liverpool boss Arne Slot is sweating over the availability of defender Ibrahima Konate ahead of the Champions League game with Marseille. The French defender played against Burnley on Saturday, but was absent as Slot's players trained on Tuesday ahead of the trip to the south of France. There was a welcome return for Mohamed Salah, though, as the Egyptian looks set to feature after his return from the Africa Cup of Nations. Slot will provide an update on the duo and the rest of his squad when he faces the media on Tuesday evening, with Liverpool's squad likely to be announced before the players board their flight to France. The Reds will announce a travelling party later today ahead of Slot speaking to the media. Joe Gomez could step up at centre-back if Konate proves to be unavailable. It is understood that Konate is back in France for personal reasons. It remains to be seen whether or not he will link up with the Reds ahead of the game. There has been pressure in some quarters for Liverpool to dip into the January market for defensive reinforcements. Connor Bradley and Giovanni Leoni are both out for the season, and Gomez has proven to be injury-prone in the past. However, Slot recently played down the chances of something happening in the next couple of weeks, while insisting that everyone was on the same page behind the scenes. "You think we have more options in the front? I am surprised people are so focused on our last line," Slot said on Friday. "We don't have an injury in our midfield, so that is the line we don't have them. But I think I have said it in the press conference, but I can say it one more time. Everyone is aligned, everyone knows what the challenges are, and we all agree, but that is not to say there is no possibility for us to act because, as you know, this club has always waited for the right moment, and never from a position of panic. We always do the right things at the right moment. The one who was here before me had some issues at the back as well in a certain season. If the right player arrives for multiple reasons, no matter what the position in our team, it could be last line, midfield or attack, then we will act. If not, we do it with the players we have because Wataru Endo has come back now as well. At this moment there are only 3 players who are out with long-term injuries unless it's an opportunity or a chance in the market, but I think we have shown in this window or in the summer how we act. That has been meticulous and a very detailed process that is not done in 2 weeks but over a long period of time, but then we act at the right moment.